Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my August TBR. I am so excited to share with you the mega stack I have over here. Before hopping into it, hello, my name is Emily. This is MacInnis Mama, where you will find mostly bookish content like what you are seeing today, but also some gardening content sprinkled in because I love learning to grow food for my family along with reading. So if that is something that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe. This year I have been following Stephanie's Bookverse's TBR Star Hop rolls each month just as an added challenge to diversify my reading a little bit. So I'm not reaching for, the same things over and over again, which has been really fun. So I will be doing that in August as well. And then we of course have the magical Readathon Orilium Autumn Equinox this month, which I'm very excited for as well. My career of choice is Master of Elements. So I did read the 6 books, I believe, in April that I needed to for this career. And then I have 8 books to read in August for the second semester of school. To be well on my way to achieve my desired career. I'm Order of the Crescent. The Magical Readathon can be very overwhelming and very involved. I will link it down below. There's like side quests and things you can do for your guild and all of these different things. You build your character. But honestly, it's a little bit much for me to keep up with. So I have built my character, I have a backstory and all of that, and I have completed each of the Orilium pieces up to now, but none of the extra things. Like, I'm not submitting my books, I'm not fighting for the quests and things like that. It's a bit much for me. But I will be sharing what books I'm reading so I can hopefully still achieve my career. I like that this time there are some easier or like more fun prompts, so it made it easier to choose books for. But all that rambling aside, I have 12 books in total that I plan on reading in August, which is quite a lot for me, but I've been reading a lot this summer, so I'm feeling ready for it. Not all of them I'm going to be sharing with you because I do have a secret TBR for a vlog this month, which I am very excited to be doing. But let me stop rambling. Let's start off with the August TBR Star Hop. As always, Stephanie's video is linked down below. So if you want to watch her play the game with the board, not be spoiled for rolls or anything like that, watch her video first because I'm just going to be saying what the prompt is and the book that I chose for it. So firstly, roll number 1 was a book over 500 pages. For that, I promised to finally get to Ruin by John Gwynne, the 3rd book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I think I've put this on every TBR for this is the 3rd month in a row. I'm just so intimidated by the size of this. It's 750 pages, but I gave Malice, the first book, 4.5 stars. I gave Valor 5 stars. And I'm so excited to get into this. It's just the size that is holding me back. So in this world, the Banished Lands, there is a big prophecy. And the tagline of the series is "Even the brave will fall." John Gwynne does not hold back. Some of your favorite characters may not make it through this storyline. It is high adult fantasy leaning towards grimdark, I would personally say, with lots of politics, wars, a ton of characters, and I absolutely love this series so far. Next was a standalone. For that, I'm putting Beach Read by Emily Henry back on my TBR. This is a book that Emmett chose for me to read in July, but I just haven't gotten a chance to read this yet, and August is going to be perfect. It's still summery weather. I want to get in all of my summery reads this month, and then I'll be diving into more thrillers and fantasies, I feel like, in September. But everyone's eager for the fall to get here, which fall is my favorite season, but I don't want to jump the gun too much, and I want to still be in the summery vibes. So in this one, It is an adult romance following two authors. I believe they have writer's block and they agree to try and write each other's books, and they write very different genres, kind of as a creative exercise. I could be completely wrong on that. I literally have no idea, but I don't like reading the full synopsis of books because sometimes, similar to movie trailers, I feel like they give you all of the highlights, which in turn semi-spoils it. So I believe that what I told you is what I have been told that prompted me to buy this book, but I could be mistaken. Next up was a hardcover, a very open prompt, except I'm someone that typically buys paperback, but I do have They Never Learn by Lane Fargo out from the library. This is a hardcover. This is a female Dexter with dark academia vibes. Is she a professor? Scarlett Clark is an exceptional English professor, but she's even better at getting away with murder, and she murders the unsavory, the bad guys, and it is in this university setting, which I think is really fun, especially August. Like, we're creeping into back to school season, and I think this is going to be a fun time to bridge the gap between like super fun summer romance and then dark academia fall vibes. And lastly, for TBR Star Hop, only 4 books this month, was a 3-word title. Another book that's been a frequent flyer on my TBR, but I need to read it this month because all these books I'm sharing with you cross over to my Orilium TBR or my secret TBR. So they need to get done this month. 3-word title, The Finish Line by Kate Stewart. This is the 3rd and final book in the Ravenhood series, which is a adult romance suspense. I literally cannot say too much about these books without any spoilers, because when you start off or you read the back of the first one, it's very confusing and doesn't come together until I think this book. I'm very nervous. I absolutely loved Flocked, liked but not completely loved Exodus, even though Exodus broke my heart. I was crying my eyes out, and I'm excited to finish a series, though. I need to finish more series. So these are the 4 books on my TBR Star Hop. Because this isn't my game, I've never taken any punishments, but because I haven't taken any TBR punishments, I feel like I've been straying from my TBR way too much this year. I love making TBRs and I feel really good when I accomplish them, but with no incentive, I haven't been doing so good on that front this year. So let me know if you think I should take punishments starting in September if I don't complete my TBR Star Hop. I don't know what a punishment would be. Maybe having to randomize a wormhole book to add to my TBR. That could be a good punishment because I'm not doing the rolls and adding a black hole doesn't really work for me, but maybe I could pull a wormhole book and it's not allowed to fit into any of the prompts. It needs to be additional. I think that could be a good option. Okay, I need to stop rambling. Let's hop into the Orilium Autumn Equinox TBR. Like I said in the intro, I'm going for Master of Elements. There are 3 levels for each classes. The classes I completed in the spring were Animal Studies, Restoration, Astronomy, Elemental Studies, Conjuration, and Shapeshifting. I do need to read 8 books to complete my Master of Elements requirements. If I could get more and like fit them in, then that would be wonderful, but the 8 I'm going to share with you are my priority. So starting off with Animal Studies, I need to get an O, which is Ordinary, just 1 level, and that is a book with an animal companion. So stealing from my TBR Star Hop, I have Ruin by John Gwynne. There is definitely an animal companion component to this story, and I love it so, so much. I love animal companions in books, but because I need to read this, I'm behind on the Patreon buddy read. I'm putting this in for animal companion. Next, for astronomy, I also need just an O, so one book, and that is a book with the letter L in the title. Again, we're stealing from TBR Star Hop. I'm going with They Never Learn by Jane Fargo. For my restoration, I need to get a Q, meaning I need to read 2 books, and I need to read the O book first and then move on to Q. And so O is read a book with a single object focus on the cover. And for this, I am reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've decided to join in with Christina's chapters and Hannah's recent reads. They're doing a read along for all of Sarah J. Maas's books, and also a friend of mine is going to be buddy reading this with me. I'm very excited to chat with her about it. And this will be a reread for me, but I read it many years ago and only read this book. I never continued the series, which is crazy to me. This might be a stretch, but I feel like not really. Like, clearly you have this wolf on the cover and not much else. There is an arrow sticking in the wolf, but I'm gonna call this like a one object focused cover. Q, the second level for restoration, is read the oldest book on your TBR. Now, I don't know if this is the absolute oldest, but it is the first book on my Goodreads TBR as well. And I have had this bind up of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman since I was a child. I have never read the series. I read The Golden Compass, I think last year or at the beginning of this year when it was winter. And so I guess now I'm going to be reading The Subtle Knife, which is the second book in this trilogy. And I didn't really want to be because it's definitely wintry, but Jade is hosting Polarathon this month as well, so I feel like a lot of people are fitting some polar fantasies. I feel like everyone knows what The Golden Compass is about. It has heavy religious themes in it. There are animal companions in this book as well, sort of, and I really did enjoy The Golden Compass. It's a middle grade series, and again, I just want to be knocking some series off of my list, so I guess I'm reading The Subtle Knife this month. Next, I have elemental studies where I need to get to distinguish. So all 3 levels, and again, I need to do them in order. So O for ordinary is start a book. Like when you start your read, you start it with a drink, which is very open, and I feel like I could fit anything in this. I'm just going to slot in beach read, but this could change with maybe one of my other books on my secret TBR. Just starting a book with a drink. I'm going to try and maybe make like a fancy drink. I don't know. Not just like have my cup of coffee next to me or a bottle of water, but I like that this one was super open. Q for qualified is point at a book and then pick the adjacent. So I'm going to do a separate reading vlog for this book as well, so you're definitely getting a sneak peek here, and I'll insert the footage of me choosing it in that vlog. But I have the Billy bookshelf from IKEA, so there are 6 shelves for my TBR shelf. So I rolled the dice, got 6, so I needed to look at my bottom shelf. Then I closed my eyes, had my son close his eyes, and I was going back and forth like this until he said stop. And then I just reached my arm out and then picked a book that was on, you know, either side of the one I was pointing at. And The Finish Line by Kate Stewart was next to The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, because my bookshelf is in alphabetical order, and I just think that that's kind of funny that they're both Raven books, because this is the Raven Hood series and the other one is The Raven Boys, you know? But that's how I picked this one, which was fun. For D, distinguished is read a book with a C setting, and I had a hard time with this because none of them were like really calling to me, But I would like to read Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. This is a historical romance. I don't know if there's any fantastical elements to it. The cover makes me think there would be, but I've heard it described as a historical romance, so I'm kind of feeling like no. Like, I literally have no idea. This is a romance between a woman and a pirate, and I'm assuming it's set at sea because the cover is at sea. I don't even know if the whole book is set at sea, but sea is definitely a part of it somehow, so I'm going with it. And the final book that's on my Orilium TBR for shapeshifting, I need an O, which is for ordinary, the first level, and that's a book with wings on the cover. And when I first saw that, I had planned to put this on, but it was the like random book. So I was looking at what else I had from the library, and I'm going to go with Monstrous Volume 2, which is called The Blood. I want to read this sooner rather than later because this is a very like involved world, and I'm scared of forgetting parts of it. And there is an owl or some sort of bird right here, so obviously there are wings. And this is an epic, dark, steampunk, horror, fantasy, graphic novel. I feel like it's kind of a mix of everything, and I did enjoy the first one, but I was lost for a big part of it, so I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars, but I am excited to continue. I think there's only 6 volumes out, and this should be a very quick read. So those were the 8 books I for sure need to read for Orilium, but as always with me, I have more books to share. I'm still not sharing the books in my secret TBR, so keep that in mind. But I do have 2 others to share with you. First is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Again, this is for Christina and Hannah's read-along. I am halfway through this, so it can't go on for Orilium. And I mean, I could have put it on for hardcover for TBR Star Hop, I guess, but I need to read They Never Learn anyway, so I just didn't put it on either of those official ones, but I am for sure going to finish this. The live show is postponed almost a month, so I feel like I have lots of time, though I don't want to wait too long. Like, I think I still want to be reading like maybe 5 chapters a day up until the live show. This is the final book in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm loving it. And lastly, for my official TBR, I'm putting on Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This book was kindly gifted to me from Stephanie from Stephanie's Bookverse for my birthday in January, and she is doing a channel read-along for this series because the 3rd and final book came out last month, I think. And I think Robert Jackson Bennett's books kind of merge like mystery thriller elements with fantasy, and in here the magic involves inanimate objects. Like, you can mess with their purpose or like what they do as inanimate objects. I literally have no idea, but I do know that there's a heist involved and found family, and this is adult fantasy, and I'm so excited to jump into this. It's been sitting on my shelf since January, just teasing me, so I can't wait to get to this. I do have other buddy reads, etc., or like more like book clubs that I'm behind on, as well as some of the Patreon picks that I do need to read and catch up on, but this is 12 books, and I feel like that's already a lot, and so I'm cutting it off here. So it's just the Orilium, the TBR Star Hop, and then only these are the true 2 added books. This one looks really giant, but I'm already halfway through, so I'm not too worried about that. But I actually feel really good about my August TBR. I'm in such a reading mood. I'm so happy I finally have this planned out so I can dive right in. As I'm filming this, it's July 31st, so like I'm ready to hit the ground running and do so good on my Orilium TBR, and for sure complete my TBR Star Hop so I don't have to do a punishment next month. Again, let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. Also, let me know in the comments what you plan on reading in the month of August. I love knowing what's on everyone else's TBR. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!